question is, the paint store gave me an Autobody Master acrylic sealer ready to spray can. Should I use that under the 2K urethane single stage? From your videos and listening to you online, I'm thinking that it may be better to do a 2K urethane primer sealer. Advice, please. Okay, so if they gave you that, you could go either way. Okay, you could swing it both ways. That sounded kind of weird, but if they gave you a 1K sealer, I'm thinking it's in an aerosol can. Yep, this is a 1K sealer as well. This is good to spray over body filler, like raw body filler. Sometimes you're doing body work. Let me show you an example, right? And then you cut through the metal, or you have some glaze putty and whatnot. You know, you really never want to paint directly over that. So look, if we come here, if we take a look here, so look, I was sanding some glaze putty, right? These spots here, okay, and then I cut through to the filler. You can see the filler here. So ideally, you could spray over it, all right, you could, but ideally you don't want to. You want to seal this before you put paint on it. So what I'm going to do is get my 1K sealer that I just showed you, and I'm going to hit all these spots, that right there, a little bit of the metal right here, okay, things like this. You just spray quick. You know, this little spot there, this little spot here, okay, all these little areas where you got metal and or filler showing, or glaze putty, whatever. It's good to put a primer. You could do a 2K filler primer on top of it. The problem with that is you got to put 2K filler primer, you got to wait for it to dry, you got to wet sand it or dry sand it again. You got to kind of go through the steps again. Or to skip all that, you could use that aerosol can you got just to hit all those spots. Or because I don't have an aerosol can with that, I'm just going to use this, put it in my gun, hit all those spots, mix up my paint, and then spray the 1K single stage right on top of it. So hopefully that answered your question. Let me know if I'll respray it with 2-stage so I can sand and buff. What do you think? I think that's a good idea. Now, when you painted your single stage, did you make sure you painted it over a flat surface? Like, did you take out the orange peel previously? Because when I was, when sanding, like when I was sanding this thing down, that paint job was very orange peely, like the texture. So you don't want to just give it a light scuff and paint on top of it, because you're going to bring that orange peel texture to your final paint job. And if your final paint job also has some sort of texture, it's like double orange peel. So you want to always make sure you're painting over a flat sanded surface, that you cut down all the paint texture. It's flat. So if you paint, and if you do have a orange peely look, you could sand it down and buff it. You don't have to worry about, oh, underneath is screwed up too. You know what I mean? You want to make sure you're painting over a flat surface. So yeah, you could respray it with 2-stage paint if you want, no problem. Or you could just try it with single stage again. I'm not sure what type of spray gun you used, or the mixture, or the environment that you sprayed at. But hopefully, I'm hoping that we get a glass finish on this thing. I'm hoping. So that's why you want to prep the body as best as you can, so you have a higher chance of getting that glass finish, if that's what you're looking to get. Polish. And is it legit? Anybody use? Yeah, I heard of one of our VIP members, Arnold, swears by it. I haven't had a chance to test it yet. It's an all-in-one, all-in-one compound and polish and glaze, and I hear it's pretty good. I haven't used it yet, but you could check it out. All right, guys. Hey, have you ever painted a car crystal white tri-coat? And if so, is it hard to match or hard to do? Thanks. I have in the past, not recently, but any type of, 3-stage, you're always adding like a pearl in the middle. Okay. It's always a pearl in the middle. I have in the past, actually, the last time I did it was in Texas on my wife's Highlander. We did a touch up. It was 3-stage. So, they give you the white base, it's not hard. And color matching is not that hard either. if you really want to get a good color match, it's important to blend into the adjacent panel. So if you're working on a door, you know, if you really want to get a good color match, you're going to want to blend into the fender and to the back door or to the back quarter panel and just paint that whole side. If you really want to get it nice, you know, if you really don't care, you know, you could just paint the single panel and just kind of test it out. I would test it out on a spray card or a test panel somewhere. You know, put like 2 coats of your base coat, 2 coats of your mid coat, clear it, and then compare it. If it looks pretty good, then just go for it, you know? How do you feel about painting over Rust-oleum primer? Now, is it a 1K primer or a 2K primer? I think it's only 1K. I think Rust-oleum primers are only 1K. I'm not a big fan of Rust-oleum. I did a course on Rust-oleum called rustoleumpaintjob.com, I think. And we made it work. We sprayed 2K automotive paint over it, and it worked. It's just not my favorite. But you could paint over it. Just make sure it's dry. Okay, make sure you spray it, you let it sit for a day or two, make sure it's really dry, because if it's not, whatever paint you put on top of it, especially automotive paint, the solvents in it will basically eat it up and you could get a chemical reaction. So just make sure your 1K is basically cured. Okay, all the solvents evaporated out of it. How does a 1K get hard? 1K gets hard by the solvents in the 1K evaporating out. Okay, that's how it cures. 2K cures by activating, okay, by putting in a hardener, an activator. Hardener, same thing. Some people call it hardener, some people call it activator. It's the same thing. Okay, that's why 2Ks are a lot more durable, because you're putting in a catalyst to make your paint cure hard. A 1K, you're waiting for the evaporation process, which could take a week, you know, to fully cure, sometimes 2 weeks. Fixing to spray my 2000 Mustang. I'm having problems finding a 3-stage version of my color, the pearl reddish purple color. If you're going to respray it, why don't you just paint it a whole different color? Okay, that's just an idea. Just an idea. You could spray your original color. I would go hit up your local automotive paint shop. You know, figure out where all your auto body shops are in your local town, and then find out where they buy their paint from. Okay, just check out, just Google automotive paint supply. They're Sherman-Williams, DuPont. They're all around. You know, some places are they have their own name. You know, like Napa has them around here also. Napa stocks a lot of PPG and some custom stuff. But go there, and they will most likely they'll be able to make it for you. How many layers of House of Color Clear do you like using on a black show car? Normally, 2 coats, 2 medium wet coats of clear coat is all you need for paint jobs. But now that you're talking show car, what you could do is lay your 2 coats, lay your base coat, lay your 2 coats of clear coat, let that dry, wait about a week or 2, sand that down with 800 grit to 1,000 grit in that area, and then put 2 more coats on, which is called a flow coat. So you'll have 4 coats of clear on that thing. Okay. Normally, something like that's really done for candy paint jobs to make the candy and metallics look deeper, but you could use it on solid colors as well. You know, 4 coats of clear. That's a lot of that's some nice clear coat you got there, which gives you a lot of room to color sand and buff. So that's my my 2 cents there. Hey, rebuilt some of the window frame and pillars on a vet. I'm restoring, primed, but what paint to use to get good adhesion and won't lift when window sealer is put on when installing new window? Window frame and pillars on a vet. Primed, but what paint to use to get a good adhesion and won't lift when a window sealer is put on? So any automotive paint, okay, has good adhesion. Any brand name, Nason, Sherman-Williams, PPG, DuPont, House of Color, any of these brands, adhesion comes down to prep. Okay, so if you prep the job well, your paint's going to stick. So for me, I like to finish sanding with 400 grit. Okay, it's enough coarse toothness. It's enough tooth, okay, and sand coarse in your paint job, the scratches, for your new paint to bond to. Okay, I don't like painting over much finer than that. Some people, I hear I'm painting over 1,000 grit. I'm like, what? That's crazy. It's a little too fine. You can clear coat over 1,000 grit, but if you're putting paint on, you want to put that paint on over 400 and then your clear coat right on top of that. Hopefully that helps. Question, I painted my car white. I used the same paint on the front and side, and yet they look different toned. If that makes sense, I used 2K clear coat. Okay, I'm just using paint from a can. So look, I'm not sure what type of paint you made, if you had it mixed at a body shop or what's going on. But, when you order paint, you could take a piece of your panel to the paint shop. They could put the machine on it, scan it, give you a pretty good color match. They'll basically match it there. They will, take a dab of paint, put it next to it and see, and make sure they give you a good. I'm not sure if you did that, or the other reason you might be getting that is using bad and cheap clear coat. So I don't know about Pep Boys. That's the reason why. You're not going to get paint out of a box from somewhere and have it and expect it to match to whatever car you're working on. Sometimes you're never going to get that perfect match. You're going to have to blend and trick the eye. Just like that BMW project I did a few months ago. You have to trick the eye. You have to blend it to where you can't notice it. So that's the whole idea of blending. Gun to run on a 33-gallon compressor. Well, definitely there are a lot of spray guns out there. Okay, I use Atom spray guns. They're the only guns I use. They're great. If you want, I'll drop the link. You can check them out. But the main thing is you want to get a low volume, low pressure spray gun. So whatever gun you want to get, make sure you get a low volume, low pressure, a true low volume, low pressure. Some of them are fake. They say it's a low volume, low pressure, but it really ain't. So just be careful. Here's the Zula. This is the X27 low volume, low pressure MP. You might want to check that one out. Requires less air, sprays, atomizes very, very well. And if you get the guns over at Zula, they give you a free GUNBUDD lighting system. Just check them out. Super, super cool. Do you prefer a 1.3 or 1.4 needle in your base and clear gun? So normally I like to shoot out of a 1.4 all around. Base coat, clear coat, single stage. But recently I've been painting with the 1.3 again. I switch back and forth actually. It's not a huge difference. I think when laying single stage, definitely a 1.4. Clear coats, some people like the 1.3, they both lay on well. I mean, those are the average all around go-to tip sizes when spraying. What's on here? But if you're spraying anything thicker, a little thicker, I would just go with the 1.4. This is a 1.4 on my Atom. I don't even know if you can see that. Oh, there it is. Okay. I sprayed 2K filler primer with this gun on that van. Okay, came out excellent. And I'm going to be spraying single stage out of the 1.4 Atom spray gun as well. So it's up to you. You could try it. Actually, if you actually get the Bluemoon, the Atom X88 Bluemoon or Infinity at Zula.com, they come with both tip sizes, 1.3 and 1.4. So this is the Bluemoon. The Infinity is just a different color. But yeah, check them out, guys. Really, really good spraying guns. Super fine atomization. And cleats, boom. Last question. New VIP here. Just got a garage built and plan on using it as a paint booth. What brand paint is affordable but isn't junk? Shopline. Shopline is a cheaper brand of PPG. PPG is a very, very good brand. as you know, and I use a lot of Shopline. Very good paint. You could look at my rack here, some of my paints. A lot of it's Shopline. Okay, been using this stuff for years. I think this is just black base coat. But here, this is what Shopline looks like. You know, you get the reducers. And as far as clear coat, Finish One is an excellent product. I get this from Sherwin-Williams. Hold on. Sherwin-Williams, the Acme Finish One, $100 a kit. Sometimes you probably less for you guys. It's $100 a kit for me in Hawaii. Things are expensive here. So for you guys in the mainland, I don't know what the pricing is, but you probably get this for like 75 to 80 bucks for 5 quarts of sprayable clear coat, which is pretty damn good. 5 quarts, you know, 4 quarts to the gallon, and then your hardener. So if you mix it all up, you got 5 sprayable quarts, which is enough to paint the whole damn van. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Tony here, and we'll see you later. See you later. Peace.